All right, good morning, everybody. Just wanted to do another follow-up review on the Pecron E3600, along with my new SetPower refrigerated cooler. That's the PT35 model. Right now, it's just simply plugged into a wall outlet, and the Pecron is not turned on at all because after the test I charged it back up, and now it's simply in standby getting ready for its next use. But I knew when I bought this thing, the Pecron, that ultimately I was buying it for in the event of a power outage, and maintaining at least my refrigerator running to keep the food from going bad in the event the power outage lasts more than a day, because we all know food is way expensive, and to have $200, $300, $400 of food in your refrigerator going bad over a 2-day power outage, that would suck. So ultimately got the Pecron 3600 to help with that. And I do want to thank all the people who watched my other two videos who are obviously very knowledgeable about these things and solar power. Your comments were very helpful, and I do thank you. Because in the other video I was running my solar panel, just kind of testing it, to which with the solar panel on reasonably sunny days, and 3600 watts of battery storage, I was able to keep my refrigerator going for almost 3 days, which is really cool. But I found out that those solar panels are insanely sensitive to shade. The slightest amount of shade basically kills any recharging that it may have done. And I knew going in that a 300 watt solar panel would be hard pressed to totally charge back a 3600 watt battery pack. But really all I wanted it to do was just extend the battery life, and that's what it did. But again, you need sunlight, and with Hurricane Helene causing its destruction here, to which I hope everybody out west in the mountains, that they all get the help they need as quickly as possible. I'm here in North Carolina, but well east of where that hurricane went through. We did get it here. We got a bunch of rain, but not a whole lot really happened here, except just crushing downpours and some minor flooding of creeks and streams. But all in all, very thankful that nothing bad happened. But had I lost power during that time, for the following week, it still continued to rain. The sun never came out, so the solar panel was kind of worthless. And a lot of you guys in the other videos has suggested that I get a gas powered generator. So when the Pecron needs recharging, use the gas powered generator, run it for about an hour. The one I got will produce 3600 watts running. So I figured, all right, I can run the gas powered generator for an hour, charge this back up, get a day's use. And so that's good to have. That was some good advice. And again, I thank you people out there who are definitely into prepping and solar power and battery power backup. Some of you guys are powering your whole houses with these things, and it's amazing. But for me, I just kind of need it to help out when needed. But at the same time, they're kind of expensive, and I wanted to get more use out of it, so I planned on doing some camping. And I figured this would be good to take on camping weekends. Granted, it's 80 pounds, but I'm not hiking with it. I'm merely driving to a campsite and then setting up camp right there. So I won't don't have to lug it very far, maybe just a few feet from the truck. And my camping trips, I plan on like a Friday and Monday off from work, which means I would need the Pecron 3600 to give me 3 full days of use, powering the SetPower refrigerator, as well as, I'm using this fan to keep my GoPro cool. It keeps wanting to overheat. But yeah, also bringing my coffee maker, smoothie maker machine to the campsite as well, because just because I'm camping doesn't mean that I don't want to just kind of eat the way I normally would. Because when I go camping, there's going to be hiking and some biking involved, which means I'll be burning calories, and I want to make sure I'm eating well, and that's where all this comes into play. So I basically figured I needed 3 days of use from the refrigerator. I need a minimum of 3 cups of coffee, 3 morning smoothies, 3 dinner smoothies. I'm addicted to smoothies and coffee. Forgive me, there's worse things to be addicted to. Anyways, yeah, the coffee machine, you know, it's stuff I'm got from the house. That's really a battery drainer. When it runs, it's pulling about 685 watts, and it takes 5 to 8 minutes to make a cup of coffee, depending on the temperature of the water I'm putting in there. And the smoothie machine is 1200 watt unit, but really only needs anywhere from 400 to 600 watts per cycle, and generally I'm running 2 cycles per smoothie, so there's some wattage drain there. But when it came down to it, I was only consuming about 25% battery per day, per full day, 24 hours out of the Pecron. And so I'm like, well, that should give me 4 days of use. And that's pretty much where I ended up. I ended up getting 4 days of continual power for the refrigerator. I wound up with 4 cups of coffee, 4 breakfast smoothies, and 5 dinner smoothies. And that left the Pecron with about 5% battery remaining. But at the end of the 3-day test, which is what I was looking for, I still had 30% battery power left. So I have plenty of extra power, which is good, because this test took place indoors, and when I'm out camping next year, you know, there's not going to be air conditioning, so this thing is going to be running in probably 90-degree heat, and which might make it run a little bit more than it did during this test. But with 30% extra power, I think it shouldn't be a problem. And as far as like keeping my phones and everything charged, I got like small portable power banks for the small stuff. I just wanted the Pecron to take care of the big items without the need of being recharged. I didn't want to be on my camping trip thinking, crap, I got to recharge this thing. It's raining today, so the solar panel's out, and you know, I don't want to sit there and let my truck idle while I'm trying to charge the Pecron. I wanted that, you know, that beast of a battery power to give me what I need without recharge, and that's pretty much what it did. As far as the SetPower goes, this is the second one I got. I got these on Amazon, and the first one was defective right out of the box. The left side cooling bin, right now I got it just plugged into a wall outlet. It wouldn't cool down at all, and it just wouldn't cool down at all, and the right side would blow right past the cool settings, and it, you know, Yeah, it just didn't work. The left side didn't work, and Amazon's got really cool return policy, 30 days. I'm setting that back down to minimum. 30-day return, no questions asked. So I told them about the issues. But before that, I went to their customer support to see if they could help me troubleshoot this thing. I also went to the SetPower website and sent them an email, to which they did respond with their own troubleshooting process. But I mean, ultimately, it was just simply defective. It should have worked correctly out of the box, and I'm like, I'll just take advantage of the 30-day return. And I figured it was a fluke, so I just did an exchange for another one, and this is the second one. Amazon shipped it out, got it 2 days later. Really cool. And it worked really well. It worked very, very well. Yeah, I just plugged it in for this video, and it's running through its cooling cycles pretty aggressively right now. But in a nutshell, it's 2-chamber design, which is really neat. So, you know, this is like the shallow side because you get the compressor and control panel up underneath here, and then this is a much deeper chamber. And basically on this side, I had just all my smoothie ingredients. It was loaded up with fruits and vegetables, nuts, just everything I blend in there. And there's like 30 different ingredients I put in it, in those smoothies, berries, fruits, everything. And on this side is where I kept all my protein. Now this side looks smaller, and it is, but you can actually store quite a bit in here. And what I had packed in here were a dozen hard-boiled eggs, 2 pounds of deli sliced roast beef, 2 or 3 packets of cheese, and a mountain biking bottle full of milk for my coffee, and all that fit right inside that chamber. And what's neat about the dual chamber is that unless I'm needing to make a sandwich or something out of here and I'm just simply making a smoothie, I can keep this side closed, keeping it nice and cool, and you know, just utilizing this side, and vice versa. You know, if I want to make a sandwich, then I can open up this little side, keeping all the coolness in here nice and trapped, and just get what I need out of here. Yeah, so yeah, you can control the each side, the temperatures. Right now I got them both set at like 34, and their temperature readings are reading the, you know, their little thermometers, I imagine, are attached on the inside, and they're actually reading like the aluminum siding here, because there's no airflow taking place. It's like just radiant cooling, and you know, that's all iced up right there, so it's cooling. But the ambient temperature, this is just a thermometer, you know, that was testing just the space temperature away from the walls. That would always be a few degrees warmer. But yeah, right now the left side bin's cooling. Its internal temperatures are reading 39, and it'll drop it back down. The right side cooled way down. It's showing 1 degree, but again, that's on the walls. And I also had it set to the max compressor setting. I find that the minimum works better. It's a lot less aggressive on the cooling, but if you need like quick hardcore cooling, set it to maximum and it will really drop those temperatures, as you can see here. While I was running it over my testing period, I kept the compressor speed at minimum, and it did really good. It would turn on and cool a compartment side usually at 3 degrees above your setting. So since I had it set at 34, when it would hit 37, 38 degrees inside, it would turn on, cool it back down. And at most it would maybe drop the temperature, their internal temperature, down to maybe 32. But using my thermometer the whole time with the food packed in there, the temperature range, yeah, it would get up maybe like 37, 38 degrees. It was actually pretty close once things settled. You know, once the food you have in there matches the temperature it wants to be at, it stays consistently cool pretty good. But it did what I needed it to do, and ultimately that was to keep all my food items below 40 and not freezing. And so that's what it did. You know, I just had fresh food coming out of there whenever I needed it. And for that test time, I ate strictly out of that, you know, as if I were actually camping. So I was pulling food out of there, putting food items back in, and letting it do its thing, and got 4 days use out of it. If I was really concerned about battery consumption, you know, if I felt like it's, you know, it's a hot day and this thing's running a lot more than I need and I might not make it, as this compartment starts to empty, and because I'm using both sides as a refrigerator, I could simply transfer the food items in here into this one, and then, you know, you can push these two buttons and now this side is turned off. So now the compressor would only be working to do just one side, so I could save some energy that way. But for the most part, you know, let me turn this side back on. For the most part, you know, I just ran them both. I just wanted to just kind of test both sides being run. And yeah, so that's what I did. This feature here, the battery protection, I got it set to low, but that is for the purpose if you've got this plugged into your car, and that will help protect your car battery. So when you go to leave the campsite, you can start your car. It won't drain your your vehicle battery. But the only time this will be plugged in to my truck is when I'm actually driving to the campsite. Once I'm there, it'll get plugged into that, and the Pecron will take care of all the power needs for it. So all in all, real good. Yeah, I have no complaints. I got 4 days usage out of this. The Pecron served me well. I didn't need to recharge it to complete my simulated camping weekend. Got all my food consumed. When I hit that 4th day, I actually reloaded it, because originally I only packed 3 days worth of food, but for that 4th day I loaded up more food and continued using it. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it, you know. The next time you see these bad boys will probably be when I'm actually camping, and I'll do a video to show my setup. I still don't even have a tent yet. I'm taking my time kind of looking at that, because I want to try to catch something on sale. I got one in mind that I think I probably will wind up getting. It's what's it called? The Acacia tent. It's got like an inflatable floor. That looks really neat and would offer some comfort, a layer of comfort that most tents don't offer, in that the floor of the tent is, you know, basically an air mattress, but it's not like an air mattress. It's designed to be the floor of a tent, so it's stable and durable. But looking at that, just waiting to see if any sale prices hit it before I pull the trigger on it. Yeah, so again, thanks to all who commented with your sound advice and knowledge in regards to using the Pecron. And yeah, anybody wanting to get the SetPower, you know, I'd say, you know, go for it. Just keep in mind that the first one I got was defective right out of the box. If you get it from Amazon and take advantage of that 30-day return, no questions asked, you know, because you may or may not need it. Yeah, otherwise that's it. I got some oh, another thing I wanted to mention. I'm glad I looked at my notes. On my last video on the Pecron, I made a comment that the app, you can use an app for this thing, so that way you can monitor and actually have some control over this thing remotely, being away from the house. And last video, the app was failing. It worked for one day, and then for some reason it just quit working. It would only work when I was at the house connected to the Wi-Fi. But throughout this 4-day test, being away from the home and working, the app worked flawlessly. So I don't know if they corrected something on their end or what, but I didn't do anything different. It's just this time I could go onto the app, see how much battery power I had left. I could tell if this refrigerator was running or not, and if I felt like I needed to turn it off, I could, but not being away from the house. So the Pecron app, to monitor and give you some control features, did in fact work over those 4 days. So wanted to mention that. Let's see, any other notes here? Yeah, no, that's about it. So I hope you find this useful. Again, you know, I'm not a stats guy. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty. There are other videos that get into the specs and the finer details of all this stuff here. You know, I'm just a guy who just wants to use it, and I just need to know, yeah, can I go camping for, you know, 3-4 days and get what I need out of this equipment? And from what I can tell from this test, the answer is yes. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. And if you're into mountain biking and hiking, I'll see you guys out there. It's early Sunday morning, and yeah, getting ready to go outside and have some fun. Y'all have a good one. Bye.